Hi guys, exeter-rider here. This week I am reviewing the Lexmoto 250 Vendetta. Right, so first of all let's have a quick look at the bike before I get on. So it's a V-twin 250, so I'm expecting it to be quite a torquey motor. I just asked Sharon indoors there about the exhaust, and apparently that is a stock exhaust. So it looks very custom, very like a stainless steel pipe there. Looks really good. Wavy disc, yeah, scrambler style. Nice big fat chunky tyres. First impressions, well, it's got to be said, it looks pretty damn good. And apparently these are 2,999 on the road. So far, it's got to be said, this bike is a proper fun machine. I can't remember the last time I reviewed a bike where I can't seem to stop smiling. It really is, puts a real big smile on your face, this bike. The sound of it is brilliant, and it does bring out the hooligan in you. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to start it up just so you can hear the exhaust. It sounds a monster, it really does. Wake your neighbours up. And acceleration wise, yeah, we're up to 65 now, still pulling quite well, 70. Some vibrations in the seat now. And now we're up to, oh, we're up doing 73 now, which is over the speed limit, so let's go back down. Yeah, this bike gets to 70 quite rapid actually. And again, it sounds fantastic. I'm getting a lot of vibrations through the seat. Perhaps more than what I'd like through the seat, if I'm honest. But everywhere else seems okay. A bit through the bars and a bit through the pegs, but again, I just want to open this bike up all the time. It's addictive how fun this bike is. Proper scrambler style, you know, but it's also light as well. It's not like one of those big heavy scramblers where you're concerned it's gonna rip your arms off or tip over. It's like light enough for fun. It's light enough for fun and powerful enough to well, for fun as well. Yeah, FUN by the looks of it is the name of this bike. But one of the reasons I would recommend this bike is to somebody who hasn't ridden for years and wants to get that young feel about themselves again, and just take them back to when they had bikes, you know, years ago. This bike would be perfect for that. You get that really good feeling on it. The fueling is delayed. It's certainly at idle. It's alright when you're going, but when you're at idle and you know, chuck it in fast and want to get going, there's a little bit of a fueling delay, which is a bit odd. But for the fun factor, this thing is, honestly, it is so much fun. So much fun. If you're somebody who hasn't been into biking for a long time and just wants to, I think cheap's the wrong word, but to be honest, it is cheap, isn't it? 2,000, you know, basically £3 you're on the road with a bike like this. For the money that you pay, that £3, you're gonna get loads of fun out of this bike. Loads. The seat is quite hard. I don't feel uncomfortable on it yet, but I would imagine I might do down the line. It's a very simple bike, and that is part of the attraction to it, to me, to be honest, is that it is so simple. It is just, it's a hoot to ride so far. I'm really enjoying it. Well, looks like we've encountered a bit of traffic here, so let's get past this lot. Again, the bike is so small and narrow that you feel like you can get through any gap with this bike. And again, people can hear you as well. Another thing with this bike as well is the awesome torque on it. In a typical V-twin, I'm in second gear now doing 17 miles per hour, and this is, again, the GoPro won't pick it up very well, but this is a steep hill here. I can shove it into third and it doesn't waddle, it doesn't shudder, it just keeps pulling. Let's see what happens if I go into fourth. It's still pulling. The mirrors, a lot of people don't like these sort of mirrors. It just doesn't bother me at all, to be honest. But yeah, they're the round sort, you know, retro style, I suppose you could say. Okay, so let me talk to you about the bike a minute. Let me run you through some stats. The engine produces 16.8 horsepower at 8,500 RPM. The attention to detail is really nice. We've got the nice foot pegs here. This exhaust sounds fantastic and it looks fantastic as well. It's a braking wise, the brakes are very sharp on the front actually. It has sort of caught me out a couple of times where I've sort of put the front brake on and it does tend to bite pretty quickly, and there's no progression with it just suddenly bites. That's not a bad thing, don't get me wrong, but it just takes a bit getting used to. The rear brake is quite soft actually. You have to give it a bit of a shove down for it to sort of bite properly. There's no like a strong initial bite with this bike when it comes to the rear brake. With the tyres, we have the 50/50 tread on it, so you can take it for a bit of fun, a bit of green laning. This bike would be epic fun on green laning. We have a plastic rear mudguard and a metal front mudguard. Left bar, we have the high beam, low beam, a pass light, indicator left and right, which is nice and chunky and easy to use. On the right bar, we have the kill switch, the lights on and off, and the start button. Okay, so let's have a look at the switch gear. We've got a gear indicator, miles per hour, and the time down the bottom, and then a decent rev counter. The finishing is acceptable. It's not exceptional, but it is still, you know, it's good enough. But as with all these bikes, you do need to keep these bikes undercover. Now, people say that these Chinese manufactured bikes rust. Are normally the people that leave their bikes outside without a cover on it. So if you do that, then yes, it is going to rust. But if you look after this, then it will stay like this. So that's just down to the individual, what they want to do there. It will pull a pillion, no problem at all. We've got nice pegs there for the pillion. It's not a particularly long seat, so you are going to be huddled up quite close together. Yeah, I mean, how often would you take a pillion on a bike like this? You have to ask yourself, really. At the rear of the bike, we've got a nice looking retro headlight, which is LED, and also LED indicators all around. On the front of the bike, we have candlescent bulb on the front headlight, and it's got the scrambler style front headlight guard on it as well. It also comes with a bash plate as well, which is a nice change. You know, not many bikes come with them these days. Right, so what's it like to sit on the bike? Well, I'm 5'8". I've got a 30-inch inside leg. It's quite a nice reach to the bars. They're not too close back. You still feel in a scrambler sort of stance. The pegs are quite high up, I would say. And the rear brake, I'm finding that you have to consciously lift the front of your foot up to sort of to engage with it. Not that that's a problem, it just takes a bit of getting used to, and again, it's just a scrambler style, so that's what you get with these bikes. Now, are there any negatives with this bike? No, I don't particularly like this sign here. It's just not me, probably because I'm too old for that sort of thing. I'd rather it said nothing, to be honest with you. And also the fueling is the only I can live with this, but the fueling is a little bit of a negative because it is a bit delayed when it's idling. When you want to get going, there is a slight sort of a chug, and it sort of thinks about it before it starts to send the fuel down the injectors. That's the only negative that I've got with this bike, considering that it's a £2,999 bike. Suspension is fantastic, actually. I was really impressed with that. And when you bounce down on the front, the rebound is fantastic. It just pops right back up again. Very soft as well, very soft rebound. And even on the rear, it feels great. You know, normally with the scramblers, you've got the springs going up here, haven't you, on the back. And I always find that, as I've said before in other reviews, it tends to bind to my back and go right up through your back. But this is still a monoshock setup, which that was a really good decision by Lexmoto to make it like that. It also gives the scrambler feel of the bike. It keeps it traditional, but it adds the modern elements like the monoshock, and I think there's a lot to be said for that. So again, I think they've got a very good balance with this bike, with old and new, and some of the fundamentals like the exhaust. I mean, how many exhausts now do you get that sound like that, you know, off of the shelf? You know, I mean, that's fantastic that is a standard can. Okay, so just turning the bike around quickly, I just wanted to show you this. So when I'm sat on here, the shifter feels quite high up in the air. So when you want to change down a gear and kick down, I feel like I have to really bend my foot up high to try and kick it down. Obviously that's going to be an easy fix. You can either bend the bar down lower or just adjust it on the splines. Okay, time to have another ride. Bike that you really ride properly. You know, you got to put loads of input into it, and that just makes the riding experience more enjoyable, more fulfilling, shall we say. And I quite like that. I like the agriculturalness of it. The gear selection is a little bit on the sloppy side, but again, you know, the thing is you've got so many bikes these days, you know, certainly from the bigger brands and that are so clinical to ride. And it almost, when I mentioned that the gears are a little bit sloppy, it almost seems like a big negative, but I don't mean it as a big negative. It's just characterful, you know. It just means that it isn't butter smooth, and there's nothing wrong with it not being butter smooth. It's nice to have butter smooth, and it's nice to have it agricultural. Okay guys, so I'm going to get the bike back now. Thank you very much for watching this. If you would be so kind, if you could just give it a great big fat one of them, that would be great. I don't get paid any, you know, literally peanuts to do this. In fact, not even that much. So if you could just give it a like, that'll be much appreciated, and it just shoves it up the YouTube ranks then. So if you come down to Marsh Barton and turn in opposite McDonald's, and this is where you find Treen Motors, and as I say, they're very, very friendly people, and Sharon down there is always very helpful, so, and very nice. So come down and have a look at least, and see what they've got to offer. Thanks again to Treen Motors, much appreciated. There they are there, look. And I guess I will catch you next Friday. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Cheerio.